Hello. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about 21 days to get on stage. And it's not going to be what you think it is, but we're going to definitely talk about this. I'm pretty excited to be here. I hope you are excited as well. So this is Travel the World as a Speaker, and I'm your host, Phylecia Jones. So thank you so very much for being here. And this show is brought to you by iFind You Close, where we actually go out and research and find speaking opportunities and deliver them directly to you. Like, seriously, every Monday we post brand new speaking opportunities for you to get on stage so that you can leverage speaking to travel the world. And that's what this show is about, leveraging speaking to travel the world. And what I do, I talk about two of my favorite things: traveling the world and how you can use speaking so that you can travel the world at the same time, and you can grow a business and you can make some money and all the other stuff. But you know how us travel people like to do. Our job is to get a plane ticket. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm excited that you are here. Oh my gosh. So I usually start off with a little bit of a travel story. And I really don't have a huge travel story. I keep saying this all the time. I don't have a huge travel story for you, but I got something even better for you. And let me go ahead and get this all prepped up. So what we're going to do, we're just going to admire something that I absolutely love. So here you go. This is probably one of my favorite photos. For those of you on Instagram, you won't be able to see this, so you'll have to come and join us at ifindyouclose.com/YouTube, or check the link in the bio. But for everybody else, this is one of my favorite photos. Now, if you don't know this about me yet, if you're brand new to the show, so I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of travel so that I can speak, but my little hobby is pretending to be a landscape photographer. So I love taking shots like this. I actually have a whole website. I have another hidden Instagram channel where all of my photos are, but this is one of my favorites. So for some reason, people seem to love this. Now, this is not from a fancy camera. It is from my Sony Xperia, which I absolutely love. And I researched the hell out of this cell phone just so I can have the best photo quality ever. And as you know, Sony is great at making cameras, and they're great at making cell phones with cell phone cameras. So this photo right here, this is on Dog Beach and Ocean Beach in San Diego, California. So it's Ocean Beach, which is a neighborhood in San Diego, but this is a little dog area just so you can let your dogs run freely. And a hubby and I, we jumped into the RV last year just to break up the crazy, drove all the way to the beach so I could see the ocean before the end of the year. And I actually used to live in San Diego for about 11 and a half years. I was a computer scientist for the U.S. Navy. So I used to pass by this every morning and every evening going to and from home. And, you know, there are times I do miss San Diego. I do miss the ocean. I miss seeing the water. But this was a really special treat. And this photo, it just came out perfect. You know, I call it the lone surfer. So it's just this one person just walking through the shot, and I was able to get it. And I've been playing around a lot with Lightroom. So I was able to add a little, I have my own little preset to add some zhuzh to it. I love photos of the sky. I love taking photos of clouds. Don't know why. It just feels, I don't know. And I love having a camera that can capture the sky perfectly. So this is one of the photos. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you're ever interested in seeing any of my other photos, you can definitely come over here at, check the link in the bio. Just check the link in the bio. And these are all my photos from all my travels. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you before we jump into today's topic, which is 21 days to get on stage. And I know I didn't move this up, so it's going to look really weird on the on the camera thing, but we're going to talk about 21 days to get on stage. I'm going to drink my tea because I always have voice issues. And the reason why we're talking about this is for those of you who are trying to leverage speaking to travel. Right now, you know, virtual is kind of where we are stuck. But something very interesting has been happening in the world of virtual. In the world of virtual, they're not taking very long to source speakers. Typically, back in the olden days when we were all running around licking each other and sniffing each other, I could like literally do the math on how long it would take for an event to source its keynote speakers, its breakout speakers. And it typically took almost 6 to 8 months for a really good quality event. I need to qualify that. For a really good quality event, 6 to 8 months. But since the world changed as of 2020 and due to all of the effects of the pandemic, we're doing a lot more virtual, and people got their hustle game on with all of these these virtual conferences and summits, and they're literally taking just 3 weeks to source speakers. Now, me personally, I think it's a little scary because you might not be getting the best quality of speakers. I don't know. It is what it is. But as a speaker, if you are trying to stay relevant, if you're trying to make connections, if you're trying to grow your business, you know what? You need to jump on it. So we're going to talk a little bit about why a lot of these events are taking 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks to a month to source speakers, and why they're doing that, how you can be prepared when this opportunity kind of literally drops in your lap. Because I've been on a lot of people, you need to be prepared. And also how we're dealing with that inside of iFind You Close, because you know what, this means we have to stay on it so quickly when it comes to this. So I'm going to reach down and get my water bottle. I'm sorry, you had to hear me sniff. That's the cool thing about having a good microphone, is that you get to hear me sniff. So this is my mega jug, so you have to excuse me. I try to get 64 ounces in every day. And sorry for the people that get grossed out by hearing noises like that. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to mute yet. Yeah, I don't know how to mute yet, so you have to just kind of deal with it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this topic. I've already given you the photo, so we're going to talk about the 21 days to get on stage. All right, like I said, this show is brought to you by iFind You Close. You can go check us out at ifindyouclose.com if you are needing help with researching speaking opportunities. And while you are there, why don't you stick around and get the free assessment? Why not? I mean, come on. I've been booking for 4.5 years. I sat on the other side of pitches and booking speakers, so I just want to help you out just a little bit. All right, so let's go into this thing of the 21 days to get on stage. Because of everything that's going on with virtual events, the pandemic, and you also have to realize that conferences and summits are a moneymaker for some people. That's some people's business model. Just remember that. Not everybody's business model, but for some people, especially when you're seeing a lot of the events that are out there, this is some people's or some organizations' way of doing business to keep people coming into their communities, into their programs and things like that. And what is happening is that you're starting to see a lot of these types of events turn around pretty quickly. Now, I will say some of the big corporate events, some of the bigger ones, they're not doing this type of like, let's get events going. But I have seen the same type of things happening in that when they are putting out, they're reaching out for speakers, it's a very short window. Now, why are they doing it this way? It's because they can. I mean, now you don't have to take 8 months to kind of make sure we get everybody in place, to make sure we get everybody in the city, to figure out who's doing what, who's doing a schedule. The one thing that has been pro, con, however you look at it with virtual, is that you can put on an event really, really fast. You can put on an event really, really fast. And you can put on a large virtual event really, really fast. And if you're trying to stuff it with a lot of content, a lot of educational sessions, yeah, you're going to still have these events with 200, 300, 400 speakers. And to some degree, they may not, please, allegedly, don't qualify what I'm saying that hard, but don't just take it with a grain of salt. They may not go and do the due diligence to vet all of the speakers. Now, I'm not saying that they're getting bad speakers. They're definitely not doing that, but they're trying to load up so much content that you're going to have your amazing speakers. And here's the thing. They know where to put their amazing speakers. They know how to put them in the schedule, but they're going to have room for everybody else. So as a speaker, if you are trying to reach credibility, you're trying to stay relevant, this is actually a good thing for you. It really is a good thing. You can go get a nice logo, you can network with some people, and you can be a part of something fairly big. and you can get a video out of it. For those of you who are new to speaking, this is amazing for you. You know, jump on this, say yes, and just start doing it. But the other thing is, because they are sourcing speakers so quickly, you need to be prepared. I was telling people, everybody in iFind You Close, all of the speakers I work one-on-one with, is you're gonna have to be prepared, because they were going fast. I started seeing this trend, maybe like September of last year, where, you know, like actually probably over the summer, where somebody would put up an event and then in 15 days, like, they got all of their speakers. So that means, as a speaker, one, it's a great opportunity no matter what, because for my experienced people, you're trying to stay relevant. For my new people, you're trying to get relevant. So jump on these opportunities, but that also means you need to be ready to go. You don't have time to sit and let me think about what I want to do. We don't have 30 days to put it together. So 21 days is kind of the average. I've seen events source speakers in less than 21 days. So that means you got to stay on it. You need to be ready. If you are seeing opportunities, even for our members inside of iFind You Close, if you see these opportunities, you have to jump on them now. Like now, not sit around and wait for 2 weeks and maybe I'll get my assistant to do it and let me, you know, get my motivation for my application. No, you need to be ready ASAP. And I've really been trying to get on all of our members inside of iFind You Close to be ready. And for those of you who are not members, you need to be ready, because a lot of these events, they're coming quick, they're coming fast. Before, I actually just talked to a peer who is a speaker coordinator for one of the larger chambers here in Colorado. And just like me, when I was booking speakers, I had my speakers booked out a year in advance. Like right now, let's say it's February, I would have already had my speakers planned until at least November, at the least November. And then I would actually be starting to talk to people about 2022. Because of lockdowns and people are not knowing what's going on, it's becoming really short. I mean, the live events are, and we got to talk about that too. I mean, they're only booking speakers out 3 weeks in advance. And if they're doing virtual, it's just like, hey, what are you doing? We need a speaker in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So you have to be prepared. Not only do you need to be prepared to pitch, you need to be prepared to speak, and you need to be prepared to make a decision on whether or not you want to speak in person or if you want to speak virtually. Now, that's the other wrench in all of this. Now, I have been offered 2 live speaking engagements, still trying to figure them out. And, you know, depending on the people you're dealing with, they kind of understand, like, okay, give me a moment, you know, take some time to think about it. And then, because there are some logistical issues when it comes to speaking live right now. I mean, come on, you know what's going on in the world. But you're going to have to be able to answer these things really, really fast, because this is just the first little, especially for live events, we're just starting to see, you know, give me some time to think about it. But you're going to start seeing this really quick, because people are ready to go live. I'm not here to judge on whether or not they should. That is not me. You do what works for you, but I'm just letting you know what you're going to start facing as a speaker, and you're going to have to be ready to make these decisions pretty quick, because nobody's really planning out 6 months to 12 months in advance, because things can just turn around so quickly nowadays. So that means you need to be prepared. Now, of course, if you got questions, put them in the comment box here on Instagram and here on YouTube. Put them in the comment box so I can be sure to answer them for you when it comes to dealing with this, all right? Now, as a company and as a research company that researches speaking engagements, how are we handling this? Now, you probably didn't really care how we're handling it, but I'm letting you know the way we are handling it is we got to stay on our toes. Now, I am still seeing traditional models of events planning a year or 2 out, and they're still following a very typical cycle. And I am absolutely okay with that. That is perfect, and it works absolutely well for me. And I love that, because now I can still follow my typical models of, you know, how long it takes to get on speaking on stage, and then having enough time to pitch, because I do think more the quality events are taking the time to vet their speakers properly. And that is what I absolutely love. Now, as a company, how we're dealing with all of these quick turnarounds, I mean, to be honest, we're just trying to deal with them as quick as we can, because sometimes I will see something right now, but it may not be in our posting schedule. So I try to stay on it as fast as I can. And I have another researcher. We go back and forth, and we try to stay on these items as fast as we can. And we've also added a community forum so that if we miss them, and if like the deadline is in 2 or 3 days, we still give them out to our members so that they can take the opportunity. One of the things that I have always said about I Find You Clothes, and one of my models is, what I benefit from not sitting on an opportunity that can work for you. So I don't benefit from that. So my thing is, I will send it out as fast as I can, any way that I can. So that's just something we've been doing when it comes to taking care of our members. And for those of you who are interested in joining I Find You Clothes, but I'm just telling you, just to give you an idea of what we're kind of dealing with, is we're seeing them come so fast that, I mean, it's literally mind blowing. One of my researchers, we just sit here and talk like, okay, are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's kind of what we've had to do. Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing when it comes to events? And they want speakers like ASAP. And she told me, yeah. So that means as speakers, we have to just stay on our game pretty quickly. We have to stay on it. Now, for those of you who had to take 2020 off, I'm not trying to stress you out. If you needed to give yourself grace, if you still need a whole lot of grace right now, give it to you. One thing I will say is stages are not going to be in full force this year. You're going to start seeing creepage, stage creepage. You're going to start seeing some live events come back here and there, depending on, what's going on. And as more people get the vaccine, we'll see how that goes. But what you also can give yourself grace on is that stages will come back probably in full force starting probably the summer of 2022. So you still have time to get your stuff together, and you still have time to pitch more of the traditional, I don't know if it's traditional, but the ones that are not following this McDonald's type of style of finding speakers. I know, is that a bad thing to say? But it really is. It's like an assembly line. Like, here's an event, boom, we need speakers, boom, and there you go. So give yourself grace. But I do want to let you know that as a speaker, if you want to jump on all these opportunities, and the reason why you would want to jump on these all of these opportunities, because one, you are in the comfort of your home or location, and speaking right now is just a great way to stay relevant. It really is a great way to stay relevant. You can practice quite a few of your different talks to see what works, what doesn't work, to see if you can go quick and deliver. So that's why we want to jump on those for those of you who are a little bit experienced, and for those of you who are brand new. Gosh, we just want credibility, at the yin yang. We want as much credibility. And if you're building a business, come on, you know how this goes. This is marketing from home. So don't shy away from any of these, because it can still work to your advantage. Now, a lot of these events that I'm seeing that are kind of following these models, they are live events. They have been live in the past, and they plan on going live again. So when you are working with some of these events, remember, they will treat you a little bit more special in the future when they have live events, and you might find yourself with an invitation. So that's why I say you want to stay relevant, especially if you want to travel. You want to stay relevant to any event, especially if it's one where it's in a location that you want to be a part of. So make sure you just stay on top of it. I'm just giving you a couple of things to think about for you to marinate on because I really do want you to have the best opportunities possible. And I want you to get inside of all this just to see how it's all going to work and if it's going to be a benefit to you. So that's all I have, really. Gosh, I think that's it. I just want you to just stay on top of your game. Stay on top of your game because, oh gosh, if I had to predict, and I can't, but from what I'm seeing right now, we're going to see quite a few of these types of events leading up into summer. And the other thing that's been very interesting, some of these events, they're still doing some of these smaller virtual events. They're going to be doing these leading up to their live event. They still have some of these live events on the calendar for 2021. So these little small virtual events where they're going to make a mega 2 or 3 days out of it, these are just like kind of little warm-ups and something for you to pay attention to, just so that you can stay in the good graces of everybody who of the people who are planning these things. So just something to remember. Your job right now is to either stay relevant or to get relevant. And this will probably be one of the easiest ways to do it until we can have live stages freely. All right? Be freely for live stages. And for those of you who are starting to run into some of the situations that I'm in, you're being asked to speak live. You're going to have to be able to answer quickly because they are sourcing speakers really, really fast, because a lot of people seem to be very over all of the lockdowns and all of the quarantines, and they want to get back to normal, whatever normal is to a lot of people. So hopefully this was useful. This is all I have for you. Now, of course, again, if you need help with finding all of these speaking opportunities, go and join us over at iFindYouClothes.com. And while you're there, you will get a free assessment. You can get a free assessment on attracting high paid speaking gigs, because that is going to be very interesting in the next few months. So take care of yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here on my Instagram channel. So for my IG people, see ya. Everyone else, I will see you tomorrow. So take care of yourself, stay healthy, and you know what? Be happy. Bye.